Hello, hello, beautiful people. I may be kind of crooked. How is everybody? Hope y'all are doing well. Wanted to had a bit of a brainstorm this morning, and definitely I hadn't talked to y'all in a while, so I thought, what the heck, might as well talk to y'all for a little bit. So yeah, going to be talking about some choices tonight. We all have choices to make. Hold on, let me adjust my little stand here so I don't fall on the floor and you don't fall on the floor. But yeah, we've got the title, definitely the word of the day is choices. We all have a lot of choices to make, and whether they're big and they're super difficult, they're super tough decisions, or, there's easy and they're clear, like, oh yeah, every day, we make decisions that we don't even realize we make, like what to wear, and make a decision to get up and what to have for breakfast and what to, this and that. And they can be really, simple and easy. We don't even think about half the decisions we make, or choices that we make. But, we have to look at the way our choices affect us. It may affect our life. And also, too, the way they're going to affect other people and affect other people in our lives. I think a lot of people just don't even think. They just make choices and just that's it. There's no thinking. There's no process involved. And when there's no process involved, that's when you really have to suffer the consequences of your choices. We all have choices, whether to go down the wrong road or stay on the right, whether to do the right thing or not. We have tons and tons of choices to make. I kind of wanted to look at some, of course, the good and the bad, and the big and even, some of the easy decisions, and then some of the big decisions that we have. Some of the big ones you have is like, maybe a new job or a new career, maybe a new position at work, buying a house, like getting a dog. Yes, getting a dog is a huge commitment. Buying a new vehicle, or even like buying a boat or a four-wheeler, or, all the toys that we love to have. Another big choice is, something I talk about a lot is changing your way of thinking. Changing your lifestyle, maybe changing your friends, changing who you're surrounded by. Even, kind of changing family. There may be even family that you're like, nope, can't be around those people anymore. Changing maybe your routine, maybe you start exercising, maybe you start eating better, maybe you start seeing a doctor, I know I didn't see a doctor, for a long time, due to back in the day when you didn't have to have insurance. And now I wish I would have, but a lot of people just like, oh, no, I can't go. I don't have insurance, or they just don't like doctors, maybe because they haven't found a good one yet. And then, then there's also marriage, and there's kids. Those are big choices, that we all have to make, and it all comes at different times in our lives. Sometimes we're rushed into it, and we're too afraid to say no. So we just do it, and then we regret it later. I've seen it a lot, especially with marriage and kids, and buying a house and knew this and knew that, sometimes, we think that this is what we want. This is the choice that we're going to make. But then we don't realize that, no, actually, that was not what, we really wanted. It sounded great at the time, but no. So, we really have to pay attention. We really do need to change our way of thinking, and change our lifestyle and change our friends for the better. We want to be, more positive and more really thinking clearly. Is this what I really want? Are you feeling, another big key word tonight is burnout. Especially when I, talk about, new job, new position, burnout can be a big thing. Sometimes I've definitely been there myself. I've been burnt out. and been like, and I never, at the time, I didn't bother to stop and think, wait, what am I burnt out on? We're not necessarily just burned out maybe at our job. Maybe it's something else in our life. It really, really could be. It could be that we're burnt out because maybe we need to change our routine. Maybe we need to, maybe if you already do exercise, maybe you need to add something new. Maybe you need to change up what you do in your workouts. And, maybe you need to start staying home more. Maybe you're somebody that's always gone all the time. So maybe you need to start staying home more. Maybe you need to find a new hobby, different things. There's little choices like that sometimes we don't think about. We don't think about why we're burnt out. We blame it like on our job, or we kind of blame it on something silly when sometimes that may not be it. Now, granted, it could be. I'm not saying it can't. I'm just saying that it could be. So, some of those big choices, and even, I have to, even, the choice of being a drug user. It's been a while since I've talked about that. Of course, I am not an addict myself, never have been, never will be. But that is a huge choice that people make. And you definitely, it's definitely one of those you just can't do once and just try it. Oh, okay. No, you usually, once you've tried it, you're in. It's just one of those, it's a tough choice. But sometimes, the downside is you get around drugs and then you get around the wrong people. And then for too long, next thing you know, you realize the choice is done made you. You've kind of made the choice to stick around those people, but, it kind of goes full circle. And then you end up, the next thing you know, you're in a pickle, and you're where you shouldn't be, doing things that you shouldn't be, hanging around the wrong people, doing, the wrong things. You're losing this, you're losing that, you're losing this friend, you're losing this, friendship and this family, and and it just all almost comes full circle. And then I've seen a lot of people, that have, they look back on their life and they have to apologize to everybody, for everything. And I definitely want to prevent, and granted, you can fix the past in a way. You can definitely say your sincere apologies and show people again that you love them, and, and that what you did was wrong, and, you were in a bad place, but you're all better now. But I definitely, I'm here to definitely help prevent you from making that choice. Please don't make, that choice of drugs, or even alcohol. I mean, alcohol's great when it's used, like responsible. Alcohol can be fun. But there's too many people out there that take it to the extreme. They take it to the next level, and it's constant drinking and it's constant drug use, and you get to hanging around the wrong people. And sometimes you don't even realize it until it's too late. So we really got to have that active mindset, moving forward mindset, really thinking about what are we doing? What choices are we making right now? Are we making any, or are we just floating on a breeze? You can float on a breeze, floating on a breeze is not a bad thing, but it's not necessarily a good thing, because sometimes we can miss a great opportunity because we weren't paying attention. I've had it happen to me, definitely in the last 5-6 years, and I kick myself, because of the things I could be doing, but I wasn't paying attention. Let me tilt this down just a little bit. So choices, big choices. We kind of talked about some of the big choices. I'll touch a little bit more on some of the big choices, marriage and kids. I see it, and don't get me backwards here. Definitely not telling you how to live. I'm telling you what I see, in my opinion. That's all this is. I'm never naming names. If I'm stepping on your toes, then you need to get in touch with me. Then we need to help you change. Okay, not trying to, I want to step on your toes. I really, really do, because I want you to see what I see and change it and be able to go, you know what, she's right. I've got to change this. We've got to admit our faults and our flaws and find a way to fix them. Don't sit here and dwell and get all depressed and like, oh, I'm such a, just, how can I fix this? How can I make myself better? How can I kind of like redeem myself from where I was? But yeah, with, marriage and kids, I see a lot of people just kind of going with the flow. I'm single myself. Of course, I have a grown child. He's 19. Didn't do it the right way. I've never been married. But I see people, marriage seems to be like an everyday thing. Like everybody does it. It's not a big deal. And it's really quite sad because I'm definitely into marriage is a very sacred thing. You get married because you have found your person that you get to annoy for the rest of your life, hopefully. Because you love them and you see yourself, like you seriously see your future. And I see so many making that big decision just like that. Just bam, yeah, let's get married. She's this, she's pregnant, let's get married. No, that doesn't fix anything. Now, granted, there's some people that want to do it that way. They want to have a kid first and then get married. Go right ahead. It's your life. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just seeing too many that do it carelessly. I've seen some of you couples out there that have definitely, you've been together a long time. You went ahead, kind of had a kid. Had a kid, not kind of, you did. You had a kid and then you got married, and things are still great. It really is. At least it looks great on Facebook. I've seen some folks in real life that, yeah, it really is going great for them. That's just the way it happened. And okay, great. But I see too many that do it carelessly, that do it without even thinking. They're just going through the motions and they've got a good feeling and they want to keep that good feeling. So they think, let's keep this person around. Let's not even try to get to know them. Let's just do this. And you can't, because I promise you're going to kick yourself. You're going to regret it when in maybe a year down the road, you're not together anymore, and she's this and he's that and na. And then you're going to be like, damn, why didn't I think? Why wasn't I paying attention? I've heard plenty of guys do it. Girls do it too. I've heard it from both sides going, why did I do that? Like, I was so dumb to do that. And I wasn't thinking. Like, I hear that so much. And we have to think to make the right choices, to make the right choices that are going to be a good impact on our life. We don't want to constantly have regret. I don't have regret. I've released my regret of anything in my past life, even anything I did yesterday. I have released it. We really have to, release that regret. And the way to get rid of that regret is to have that positive thinking and to have that new lifestyle and not letting like the easy, not letting the little things get to us and really thinking and moving forward with our thinking and going, you know what, I'm really not ready for that right now. Whatever it is, whether it's a new job or a new friendship or a new relationship, whatever it is, we have to just be aware. We have to be aware of our surroundings, aware of what's going on in our life. Yeah, there are days, of course, you can have your days where you're just kind of floating around and just kind of whatever, but then there's times we got to pay attention, because those big choices are coming, and even some of those easier choices or smaller choices are going to get us if we're not careful, But yeah, some of the easy ones, of course, are like what to wear and like paying your bills. We hate to, but we have to. Like doing laundry and even like discipline. Discipline can be easy, can be a very easy choice. Being responsible, being positive, finding alternatives, finding alternative ways to communicate with people, to communicate with ourselves, alternative ways to maybe deal with stress, to make those big decisions, make those big choices. Choices and decisions kind of go together. They're not the same thing, but they go together. I know for me personally, God is the one I go to. That may not be you, and that's fine. You can do whatever you do. But I've always gone to God for the big decisions, even some of the smaller, easier decisions. Always doing my best to consult Him and be like, okay, God, what do I need to do? What do I need to do in this situation? And I've recently had to do that. I've moved back. I was living in Alabama for a couple of years and kind of had a big life decision back right at Christmas, due to some family that needed some help. And so I made the choice to move back. Been back almost 6 months, and it's been crazy. It's been crazy busy. Just hit 8,000. Woohoo! It's been crazy, just busy and stressful and trying to kind of reestablish life again and reestablish a job and this and that and just trying to get life together. And it was tough. It was a tough choice. Now, I did make the choice. I prayed about it, talked to my family about it, and we went, you know what? Yeah, that would probably be the best. Because my mother couldn't do all the caretaking. She needs a break too. She's been doing it for a long time. So, but I made that choice. And so far so good. Yes, it's been crazy busy and crazy hectic, but you know what? I found that alternative way to deal with my stress. This is kind of a way I deal with it. Trying to life coach and trying to help somebody else out. And it's amazing the things I come up with. Half the time I tell you guys, yeah, we should do this, this, and this. And I'm like, I really need to try that, So I get great ideas off of it too. So I hope you guys really get a lot out of this. It's the choices. We have so many choices in life, whether it's, like I said, whether they're big or they're small or they're really easy or they're difficult, and even the choices of dealing with, like I talked about, dealing with moving forward in life. I've had a few people just within the last couple of weeks ask, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you get over this? How do you get over that? How do you move on? How do you not think about this? How do you not let this dictate your life? You just, that's all in the choices that you make. Are you going to make that choice every day to let that define you? Are you going to make that choice every day to let that dictate your life? Whether it's you've lost somebody close to you or you've had a crazy past life, you have to talk about it. You have to talk about it, and you have to admit to yourself, I made bad choices. And this is what I did, and I, am not going to make those bad choices anymore. I'm going to move on. I'm going to move forward. And I'm going to make better choices. I'm going to make positive choices for my life. No more negativity, no more negative choices. I'm going to make choices for me. And that's one thing we have to remember is, granted, our choices do affect us, and they affect other people and our family. But we sometimes our choices, we have to make sure that they're our choices and they're not somebody else's.
Did you get my pills?
Do what?
My pills tonight?
No, I didn't. I totally forgot.
Okay.
I'll get some. I'll go here in a little bit.
Well, okay, it doesn't matter. You can wait till tomorrow night if you want to.
Okay, sorry about that. But, our choices, we want to make sure that we're making the right choices, for us, that this is something we want, not just something that our parents want or that our siblings want or, our spouse wants or anything like that. We want to make sure that it's us. And then too, when we're making choices, we definitely want to make sure that it's going to affect the right people the right way. If we're going to take a new job or a new position at work, is this really, especially if you're already married and got kids or you're in a relationship, you want to make sure, hey, do you think we should do this? You want to make choices, together, even if you're single like me. I mean, I definitely consult God when it comes to the big stuff and even some of the little stuff, but I even consult my friends like, hey, what do you think about this? I've got some ideas kind of brewing right now of a different way to go, in my life coaching career and also with my ASMR. And so I've had an idea passed on to me. So I've passed it on to a few friends like, hey, do you think this is the right choice? Do you think this is the right way for me? Because that's what we're all here for. We're here to help each other. We're here to help each other make those big choices. And even those little choices, even where do you want to eat? That is the hardest. That's probably one of the big ones that we all struggle with. That is, just drives you mad sometimes. But, it's just choices. We have to be cautious with our choices that we make. No matter how big or how small or how insignificant you think it might be, you really got to think. We've got to think. And that's my whole point of this choices is we have to think. You've got to think about what you're doing. We've got to just, stop going through the motions, and we've got to pay attention to our life. We've got to, kind of one of those, live your life and stop thinking this is it. This is all I get, It's not. There's more to life, I guess you could say. Stop playing the victim. We have to stop playing the victim and like, oh, this is my life and it's crap and then. No, you are not. There is more to life. There is so much more. You have to change that way of thinking. You've got to stop going backwards and start going forwards. And stop blaming someone else. I hear that a lot. I see that a lot. We have to admit our wrongs. We have to admit where we messed up. We have to admit our flaws and find a way to fix them and move forward with it and get a game plan. Definitely, I'm big on writing stuff down. It really definitely helps me to remember. It helps me to get stuff down and really remember and put stuff into play and put stuff into process. And that's definitely something I definitely recommend is, if you're in that moment, maybe you're in that burnout stage, or, maybe marriage is on the edge and, kids, and you're like, ooh, I don't know if I'm ready, or, get a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, marker, whatever, something to write with, and write down, and you can do this alone. You don't have to do this with anybody else. You can do it, do it by yourself first, and maybe write down your pros and cons of whatever it is that you're going through. Whether it's maybe marriage is on the edge and you're like, oh my gosh, I might do this, or I want to buy a new house, or I want a new job, or I want this new position, or I want to get a dog. They're a big responsibility, or maybe I want to buy a new car, or, I really do want to start exercising and getting healthier. Whatever choice it is that you're trying to make, write it down, and write down your good and your bad of it. Okay, if I get that new job, what's all the good stuff about it? Okay, are you going to be, what's the bad stuff? Maybe, is your schedule going to change? Is it going to be less time at home? Or, whatever it is, just write those things down and really look at it, and really think, is this what I really want? Or whether, like I said, whether it's the buying a house, maybe it's moving out of state. I was scared to death when I moved out of state 3 years ago. I was seriously scared because I lived in Arkansas long enough. I've never lived in another state. I moved here when I was 13, which was a long time ago. So I'd lived here. I've lived in other cities in the state, but never actually out of state. And it was very scary. It was kind of fun and exciting, it's like, ooh, a new place. Nobody knows me. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. But still, I, was like, what do I do? Like, just, oh my gosh, like I kind of like nobody not knowing me. But then, after a while, you're like, I kind of wish I knew somebody. Like I really, really did. But it was a huge choice. But I talked to my family about it. I talked to my son about it. We prayed about it. For months and months and months, and it all was kind of slowly coming together. So I was like, okay, this is it. And it was a great choice. The 2.5 years that I lived there was great. Some of it was a little tough, but I met some great people. I had a great job. I had a great employer. Met some great people. I had a great church. I met a wonderful church group, family, whatever you want to call them, that were just the most amazing God servants I have ever met. They were truly servants of God, and they helped me and my son adapt, to adjust. They just were amazing. They still are. I still keep in contact with several of them. And it is just amazing what kind of people they are. So that helped a lot. But if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have made it. If it wasn't for God in my life and me finding that church group, it would have never have happened. I promise you, would have never have happened. I wouldn't have survived. I'd have been back home real fast. Or who knows where I would have been. But that's just me. But like I said, these big choices, whether it's about our health, our fitness level, maybe it's to see a doctor, that aspect, or it's to buy this or that. When it comes to financial, that can be tough. Don't do it if you're not ready. That is another big thing of this. Don't do it if you're not ready, okay? Just don't. If you're not ready to buy that house, if you're not ready to take that next step in that relationship, then sit down and talk about it. Don't disappear. Now, don't go crazy and get all mad and defensive. Talk with your partner, talk with your spouse and say, hey, I'm not ready for this. I still want to do like this, and this. Really sit down and put a plan together. Maybe, granted, you still want to stay with your spouse, but maybe you're not ready to get married. I've seen people together 7-8 years before they finally took the plunge, because they had things to do. There was things they wanted to do, so they did them. And, but they made a plan together, and that's a huge thing, is having that communication about those choices. We have to communicate. We have to communicate our issues, our choices, our problems, so we can make them together. And then that way you're on the same level. Like, isn't that awesome? Whether it's a friend, it's a coworker, it's a spouse. Isn't it great when you're literally on the same level, and you both know what you want? That makes a relationship 10 times more exciting. When you can make a decision, you can go shopping without him freaking out because you're on the same level, because y'all know, because you communicate, hey babe, I'm going to go shopping today. Don't worry, I won't spend more than this. Okay, great. Have a great day. It's communicating those choices, hey babe, I want to buy a house. Okay, well, I don't. Like, okay. And then you start talking about it, and you start getting a plan together, getting that plan that says, you know what, we're not quite, actually, after looking at our finances, we're not ready. Or, oh, we are. Let's move, whatever it is. Just don't let that other person pressure you into making those choices that you don't want to make. Or even maybe, let's take us single people, okay, that, we have our family that we, console with. We have, I have my God that I console with, There's been those big choices that he straight up has told me, no, do not do it. No. And I've had family. There's things I've done in the past that they're like, no, don't do that. Don't make that decision. Like, no. And thank goodness I've listened. And it's like, okay. So glad I didn't make that choice. So glad I made the right choice. Even though the right choice was hard and it was difficult and it sucked. It was so much better when I got through that valley and came up on top of that mountain, standing there going, you know what? That was a tough one, but you know what? I made it because I made the right choice. Yes, the right choices can be so hard, but they're so much better, and sometimes the big decision, it just popped in my head, and I know none of you are watching this right now. Hopefully you can watch later. But even sometimes divorce or separation, separating from your spouse, again, on marriage and kids, separating yourself from that situation might be the biggest, it's a huge choice that you have to make. And of course, hopefully you make it together as a couple, because that's what it's all about. But sometimes that may be the right choice. It may not be working. And it happens. It does. I've seen people married 20 years and, it hadn't been working for the last 10, but they stayed. It's all about communication. I'm not a super expert. I'm literally the third person looking in. But make that choice, or, change up that life. When that life, you start getting burnt out on that marriage, find a way to fix it. Get together. Make a plan to make a choice together of what do we need to do. Do we need to change our routine? Do we need to start getting a babysitter? Maybe we need to start having date night. Whatever it is, if it's over, it's over. And we all have to accept that and just go and find a way to move on. Yes, we're going to be sad and we're going to be mad and we're going to think, oh my gosh, the kids and this and that. But that's okay. But as you're doing that, you're making a plan to move forward and to, okay, I'm fixing to have to push 20, kind of literally have 20 years of memories but that's a choice that we have to make. It's a big choice. So make sure and do it with your spouse, console with them and, talk with them and go, is this really it? Or no, hey, you know what? Yeah, we need to fix it. Yeah, let's start doing this, hey babe, I want to start having a date night, like once a week, or once every other week, or hey, let's go out of town this weekend, or, stuff like that, shake it up, and that's just a big thing. That's another big word. And one word was burnout. The next word is communication. We have to communicate our choices to ourselves. Like literally, I definitely talk to myself a lot, but it helps me to clarify my thoughts. Like, do I really want that? Do I really want them in my life? Do I really want to take this road? What do I really want? Because we have to take care of ourselves. It's not being selfish or being self-centered or being any of that. It's literally going, I got to take care of me so I can take care of you. And if I'm not taking care of me, you're going to get treated like crap, period. Whether you're a friend, a coworker, a mom, a dad, your family, doesn't matter who you are. If I'm not happy with me and where my life is going and where my attitude is and where my person, none of that, you're going to get treated like crap. And that's what seems to happen a lot with relationships and all kinds of relationships, whether it's a lover, it's coworkers, it's family. If things aren't going, and you see those negative people walking around that are constantly like, and they're constantly mad and they're constantly negative. There's something deep down inside that they have not dealt with ever. And that's another choice that you have to make to deal with the past. You want to start living and moving forward. Make the choice. There's that key word again, choice, to get over your past, to talk about it, release it, and move on. Period. That's what you have to do. You have to make that choice in your head going, you know what? No, this is not going to rule my life anymore. I am done. And you talk about what happened and you literally release it. You write it down. Write it down on a piece of paper. My wonderful life coach, Miss Brittany, had me start doing this. And I don't do it all the time. I've only done it I think once, but it really is helpful. Do a release letter and write down your releases. I release, the anger I have towards this person or this or that. Release your things from your past and then take the paper, wad it up, and literally go throw it away in your big trash can. Don't put it in the kitchen trash. Don't put it in the bathroom trash. Put it out in the dumpster, okay? And release those feelings. Release that anger. Release all that tension, all that discomfort, all that walking on pins and needles. Release all of that. That's how you get rid of the past. You have to make a choice to say, you know what? I'm not going to live like this anymore. I'm not going to live like this. I'm not going to date that person anymore. I'm done. You have to come to that breaking point, and you can't just do it and then flop out on it. I'm like, no, never mind. Yeah, we can stay together. No, or okay, fine. Yeah, okay. No. You have to make that choice to go, no, I am done. This is it. This is over. I'm not living like this anymore. I gotta go. That's what I've had to do, y'all. That's what I've been doing for about the last year, is truly trying to live for me and make the good choices for my life. And there's plenty of people that I have kicked out of my life. People that I have literally just put the delete button on because I don't want them in my life, because they are going to bring me down and make me feel like crap. And I don't feel like crap. I have a great life. It has its ups and downs just like everybody else, but that's what life is supposed to be. If life was smooth all the time, it'd be boring as hell. It would be so boring. And we all know that. It would be so boring. We would be like, something's got to happen. Come on. That's why we have to think. That's why we have to be active in our life and active in our choices that we make and our life decisions every day, even the decision to get up and get out of bed. We have to be active in that thinking, going forward, not backwards. We want to go forward with our thinking. We want to go, yeah, I'm going to get out of bed. I'm going to get dressed. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to have a great day. But definitely doing those release. Do that release. Get you a pen and paper. Write those things down. And I was definitely recommended to do it every night. I don't have to do it every night, but there's times I just say it too. I release that anger. I release those nasty feelings I had earlier, or I release that sadness. I release it all. Just let it go. Just let it go. That was dumb of me. Why did I do that? Oh, release it. And I released it. And I feel so much better. I sleep better most nights. And then I wake up in the morning and I usually write down 10 things to be thankful for. And I write them down. I don't even say them out loud. I just write them down. And they're different. Some days they're the same. Some days they're different. But that's a choice that I've made. It's a big choice. And it's tough. It's tough to start a new habit that's a good habit. Of writing stuff down more, writing down what I'm thankful for, writing down my releases every night, of just releasing that nastiness. releasing that sadness. And the next thing you know, you start doing this and you make yourself do it. Put the phone down and go do it. You know, when you're having that conflict in your mind, get a pen and paper, write it down. And then, go consult with somebody, whether it's a friend or it's family or it's your spouse, to go, hey, this is what I've been thinking. Am I wrong for this? Or, here's what I think, and communicate and really, really communicate. And don't go at them defensively. Stay in your calm mode and just like, look, this is what I've been thinking about. This has been running through my head for a while now. Here's what I want to do, and you go with it. And then, if it's rational and it's, okay. But you just have to communicate those choices to yourself and to others, to everyone in your life. Because our choices definitely affect us, but they might affect somebody else a lot more than we think. So we've got to console those other people. Counsel, console, kind of the same thing. We have to talk with those people and go, hey, this is what I want to do. What do you think? And, if we don't, it can be a disaster, and a disaster that we could have prevented. So remember that your choices can prevent you from screwing up. They really, really can. They can prevent you from going down that windy road that you shouldn't go down. They can prevent you from being in a bad relationship for the next who knows how long. So, we have to see those red flags, whether it's a new friendship, it's a new job, it's whatever big choice is coming, or maybe even a little choice. Oh yeah, I'm going to take this side job, The next thing you know, maybe you're in something bad. Like, I knew I shouldn't have done that. Like, I had a gut feeling. Trust your gut. I promise you, trust your gut. It will save you so much heartache and so much junk in your life. I know the only junk I want in my life is junk food. Because it's good. I can't eat it. I don't eat it as much as I used to, but that's the only junk I want in my life. Or flea market junk. Now I will take flea market junk. Cool junk that's old that you can, I think I had a fly flying around. But I think that's about it that I'm going to go over tonight. So again, there was one other note I wanted to pull out. And that's definitely, in all these choices that we make, sorry if I get to talking too fast, I'm trying not to. With those big choices and even some of those easy choices, making and going to, like, I go to God and help me with this, help me do this, I try, do my best to let Him lead me in the right direction. We also have to be prepared, and I kind of talked about it earlier, so I try to remember things. Be prepared for that no. Be prepared for God or your family, whoever you're consoling with, to tell you no. Don't do that. Like I talked about before, I had family tell me no. I've had God tell me no. But you have to be prepared for that. You have to be prepared for that speed bump. Like I talked about before, you go down the right path and it's boom, 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 and it's constant, oh my gosh. But you still have to look at the bright side. You have to look at, this is the choice I wanted. It's not going to be easy. We all say that in the beginning. This is the right road. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. We have to remind ourselves of that choice when we are going through those speed bumps. But this is what I wanted, and this is what I'm going to do. And you're not going to don't let it drag you down. Definitely don't let it drag you down. We have to, we have to be prepared for those no's and those speed bumps. Maybe we want to get married. Or maybe somebody wants to marry us and maybe we don't want to marry them. Maybe it's really hit us that, whoa, weren't expecting this. And so you have to communicate that choice. You have to communicate that no to that person. Yes, it's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt you just as much. You have to communicate that. You can't just ghost them, You literally cannot. You have to communicate that no. Communicate your feelings. Communicate your choice. Like, look, I know you want to marry me, but I don't want to marry you. That's a big choice, and it's a huge deal if it's something you're not ready for. And if y'all are that connected to where, yes, marriage, like, oh, it sounds good, but ooh, I'm not ready, then just say no, because if you're not right with you, or maybe if you don't think they're in a good spot this is just not going to work, not yet, then you have to say that. You have to just make that choice to go, you know what, babe, Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the right. And then again, get that pen and paper. Start writing stuff down, of, well, this, and get it all out. You have to get it all out. And the more you get it out, the less you have to get out. You know what I'm saying? Like if you talk about stuff up front, which I definitely do as a single person, and when I meet guys, that's definitely one thing I do. I talk about stuff up front, and some of it's kind of big and it's the big stuff, but I want both of us to know this up front. Do you want marriage? Do you want kids? Do you want this? Do you want that? What kind of this, all those little things. Because you want to know up front. I don't want to not ask and then 6 months down the road go, oh my gosh, what the hell? Because I didn't ask in the beginning. I'm a huge communicator, even when it's tough. Even when it's those hard questions, or like, ooh, this might be too soon, but can I know this? But you have to do it. It helps your relationship so much better. You feel better, they feel better, and your whole world is better, period. Because you made a good choice. You made a very tough choice. And someone like me, I don't like confrontation. I hate confrontation. But I do it as much as I can when it's necessary, because it's a good choice for me to make. Then I get the answers I want. You see what I'm saying? I know you want the answers. You want your answers. So you've got to communicate. Hey, this is what I'm looking for. Are you really looking for this? I've straight up asked people, even in a friendship, even in a job, a job promises you this, this, and this. And if they don't live up to it, aren't you going to speak up and say something? Right? So you have to do the same thing to your spouse or to a friend or even to a coworker or even to your boss, to whatever. Maybe you have to confront yourself. That's the hardest thing, is to literally have to confront yourself and go, what are you doing? Like, you're not bringing no A game. Like, what is going on? Why is it this way? And you have to sit down and reevaluate. We have to reevaluate. That is the third and last key word, reevaluate. You have to reevaluate your life, your choices, your friends, your family, your lifestyle, your job, and are you going backwards or are you moving forward? What are you doing? I've definitely had to do that many a times in my life. Actually, it's kind of fun when you get to do it, because you kind of really get to, I like to reevaluate, to kind of go, wait, am I really going in the right direction? Do I have the right people around me? Am I doing the right thing? And I love it when I get to go, yeah, you know what? I'm doing really good. I really, really am. And then there you go. So the more you do it, and of course, the less you don't worry about some of the small things, don't let them get to you. And you get to where you end up having, I would love for everyone to have a mindset like mine and have that calm, that peacefulness, that even when what hits the fan, you're like, okay, how can I fix this? And it doesn't happen as often. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't you love to stop cleaning up your own messes or somebody else's messes? We all have that friend or that family member that's constantly, and you're constantly cleaning it up, or you're constantly have to listen to it. Wouldn't you love to not have to listen to that anymore? Okay, so then make that choice and say, no, I'm going to release those feelings. I'm going to release that person, and I'm going to be done. And you make that choice. Don't wait till the straw breaks the camel's back and you are literally like in a fit of rage about to hurt somebody. Don't do that. Talk to somebody. Get a pen and paper out. Make a plan. Reevaluate that plan. Even in a week's time, you may need to go, do I still want to do this? So make those right choices. Be aware of the choices you are making every day. The choices with the words that you use. Even sometimes the way you look at people, the way you dress says a lot about you. Okay? And I'm talking to men and women both. Definitely a choice of what to wear every day is a big deal. If you don't want to be looked at as a certain way, don't dress that way. It's the same thing with, kind of like one of those, you don't want to be talked about, then don't talk about other people. It's just one of those choices that we have to make. And sometimes we have to make that choice to just, nope, not going to get into it today. Like, nope, I am past that. I am done. I'm going to keep going this way and I'm going to enjoy my life. There you go. That's what you have to do. We have to make the right choices. We have to look for that burnout and then we have to reevaluate our plan. So there's 3 things, okay? And when you do those, and especially when you make that choice, that first step should be to change that lifestyle, change that way of thinking. And that lifestyle can simply be changing your mindset and getting on that positive scale and staying on that positive scale even when it's tough. And you might ask me, you might watch this video and still ask me how. You know how. I've given you plenty of steps in this video to see how. If you really want to talk about it, I am available almost all the time. All you have to do is message me. If you know me and you have my phone number, you can text me anytime. If you don't, you can message me here on Facebook and say, hey, I really got an issue. I want to talk to you about it. Everything is confidential. Your name is never released. It will never be in one of my deals. I may refer to you as a client, but your name will never come out. It will all be confidential. I completely promise you. Okay? I am always here. So if you really want to help write out a plan to get the right choices going in the right way, please let me know. Please reach out to me. Don't think, oh, this is dumb, that's stupid. That's instant defense. You're in defensive mode right now if you're saying that. If I'm stepping on your toes, it's time to make a plan. It's time to change your life, to make the right choices. So you can live a better life and have a better mindset and be more calm, be more peaceful, be more laid back, be more easygoing, and not so stressed out. Okay? So definitely thank you all for everyone that came through and the few that stuck around at least for a minute or two. I know not everybody wants to stay and listen, but that is okay. So I hope y'all have a great rest of your evening, and I will definitely see you soon.